Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us. This is the NUN Scotland Know Before You Go webinar for 2025. We're just going to wait a few moments while people join and are being admitted to the session. All right, if you're just joining, I do see our numbers continue to tick up a little bit. I'll wait till they even out for a moment. But thank you for taking time out of your day to meet with us, to come hear us talk about the NUN Scotland program this year and what to expect. All right. I think we're going to get started. I'm going to kick it off again. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be talking about the NUN Scotland 2025 program. This is the Know Before You Go webinar, where we will be touching base on everything you need to know before you depart for your semester abroad. So we will go over these topics today. We're going to introduce the team. We'll talk about the NUN Scotland program specifically, what academics will look like on site, how you can prepare for your semester coming up, what health and safety will look like in Scotland, looking ahead and some action steps, and time permitting, we'll go over a brief Q&A at the very end. All right. So here are some of our folks in our chat today. We have Megan Bunton, who is the Assistant Director of International First Year Programs. She is going to be the parent point of contact. If you need anything, she is the person to communicate with. We also have Dylan Maurer, who is the Associate Director of Global Student Success. He oversees the student life aspects that we have on site. They are both based on our Boston campus, and so are more on the Eastern Standard Time, but these are the folks who will be overseeing the program at a much higher level. My name is Katie Deegan. I am your program supervisor for NUN Scotland this year. This is my 4th year with the NUN program, and I'm very excited to be going to Glasgow and to help oversee the site. I am one of the point people for your students on the ground, along with my associate, Rachel.
Hello, I'm Rachel. I am the Student Success Manager for NUN Scotland. This is my 2nd year with the program, and last year I was actually on site in Glasgow as well. So I'm very familiar with the program and the staff, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'd also like to introduce our student success coordinators. They are observing this webinar, but you will be seeing them on the ground. These are the folks who will be your point people. Each of our students in the NUN program will have a student success coordinator as their go-to point person for any issues, questions, concerns they may have on the ground. They will also be developing some of our fantastic programs and events that we will have for our students. We'll talk about a little bit later, but we're all very, very excited to have Alexis, Anna, Delaney, Abby, Samantha, and Hunter working with us this year. And then I'd like to hand it off to Colette.
Hi, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Colette McGowan. I'm the Study Abroad Partnerships Manager. So I'm the lead manager for the Northeastern Programme at the University of Glasgow. And you can tell from my accent, I am based in Glasgow. I am from Glasgow. And I am really looking forward to welcoming you all to our city and university. I work closely with my colleague Elena, who some of you will have met at the in-person PDO, but Elena is on annual leave at the moment, over in the USA in fact, but she will be back in time for your arrival in Glasgow.
All right, next we're going to go into a little bit of an overview about the program and more about Glasgow specifically.
Okay, so it's back to me. I'm going to tell you a wee bit about the university and a little bit about the city as well. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the University of Glasgow, we are a top 100 university and a member of the prestigious Russell Group. The Russell Group is a UK organisation of universities likened to the Ivy League in the USA. So we're a member of that, which means that we are research led. We are a very top university within the United Kingdom and globally. We're also very globally minded. We have currently around 40,000 students from all across the United Kingdom and across the world, representing more than 140 nationalities. We have two programs based overseas in Singapore and in China, and we also welcome to our university campus in Glasgow. As I mentioned, around 30% of our students are from overseas. And our students are taught by a dedicated, passionate academic team, again, who are also very international as well, because we seek excellence. And so we recognise that our team, wherever they are from, we want them to be the best. So we have a very international focused and very international representative body of staff and colleagues teaching at the university also. So we're going to just show a couple of slides showing the University of Glasgow itself. We are an old campus, but we're mingled or intertwined with very new buildings on campus as well. So this is an older version of our map, of the campus map. You'll see part of it has the very distinguishable tower, the University Tower, and that's the old part of the campus. And then across to the other side, we have a new part of campus, which is still being constructed. We're adding to it. We have our final phase of building going on at the moment, and all of that leads to has developed an incredibly innovative campus structure for all of our students and teaching staff at the university. This one is a satellite image to give you an idea of where the campus is located in relation to where you are going to be living. So you will be based at Kelvinhaw Street. That's a very odd way of spelling Kelvinhaw, but that's just a very Scottish word. You are based at the bottom of the screen. That's where your accommodation is. And it says on this overview that it takes around 20 minutes to walk up to the University of Glasgow itself. You're walking through a really beautiful park, Kelvingrove Park. You can see the greenery on the screen. It is I would say probably slightly less than 20 minutes, but yeah, if you've once you get used to it and you know the route, you will be doing it probably in a much shorter time as well. But it's a really beautiful walk through the south part of the west end of the city. A little bit about Glasgow City itself. So Glasgow is a large city in comparison to other UK cities. We are the largest city in Scotland. Our capital city is Edinburgh, but Glasgow is actually larger. We have a population of just over 600,000 people, which is comparable with Boston. And one of the key aspects of Glasgow is that it is very well known for being a friendly city. People just are very interested in learning about where you're from, what you're up to, and being in the West End as well, which is where the university is located, is a very vibrant area and very student-friendly part of the city of Glasgow. It is full of amazing shops, little bohemian chic shops, as well as high street shops, and it has an abundance of cafes and really, really top restaurants around the West End near to the university. Another cool thing about the city of Glasgow, and one which has resulted in many students choosing Glasgow as their city of choice, is the fact that it has so much live music. It was voted or was given the title of a UNESCO City of Music about 5 years ago, and that's testament to just the level and the volume of music that is playing in the city and available to people to hear every night of the week. So it ranges from small intimate gigs Scottish folk music, right the way through to large concerts. We have one of the busiest concert venues in the world located in Glasgow, and it's actually quite close to the university and even closer to your residence hall. So if there's a band that you particularly want to see, you can probably bet that they'll be playing at Glasgow at some point over the next year. It's also a really great mix of nature and urban space. So Glasgow has risen up from being a very heavy industrial city to nowadays being voted one of the most green and habitable places or cities in the UK. We have over 90 parks in and around the city, so it's always been an area where people have been able to get out and go to relax and take in the very few or not so bad occasions when we do have sunshine. The name Glasgow is actually derived from the Scottish word Glasgow, which means dear green place, which again is just testament to the abundance of parks that we have in and around the city. I mentioned that we are a friendly nation and none more so than in the city of Glasgow. One of the city slogans is "People make Glasgow." And Scottish people are just generally and quite genuinely friendly and also curious. So when they hear accents from people, they like to find out where you're from. They will ask if you know your friend or their friend rather, who may have emigrated to your country at some point. But they will also just have a penchant for having a little blether, which means just to stand and have a wee chat. Often that is about the weather because it's one of our favourite pastimes is to talk about the weather in Scotland. At the university, some other things to note are that teaching staff generally don't go by their formal title. Nobody really calls them professor, but they generally would be referred to by their first name. But again, you can take your lead from that when you first speak to them in classes, but generally they're not referred to as professor. The city of Glasgow is very walkable. We have really excellent transport as well. We have a little subway train that just goes in a circle and you can't really get lost because if you get off at the wrong stop, you just wait and you get back on the next train and it goes back the other direction. We also have many buses and taxis around the city as well, so it's really easy to get around. But most people will tend to walk. A lot of people who live in Glasgow in the city don't have cars because it is so easy to walk around. Parking can be a little bit difficult, and that's another reason why people will tend to use public transport and also just their feet and legs to move around. Something else a former colleague pointed out, and this may resonate with some of you, that most cafes don't serve drip or filter coffee. So when you walk into a coffee shop, they will ask you what kind of coffee. If you want just a plain black coffee, it's called an Americano. But often most coffee shops will excel or specialise in their lattes or their espresso coffees. So that's just something else to consider around here. And I'm going to pass over to Rachel, who's going to talk a little bit about housing.
Perfect. So, like Colette mentioned, you will all be staying in the Kelvinaugh Street Residences, which is just located about a 15-20 minute walk from campus. You'll be staying in private bedrooms in 5 to 3 bedroom flats. Everyone will have their own room, and then in that room you will have a bed, linens provided, a window, a desk with a desk chair, a wardrobe, and then plenty of space for storage with shelving. Each flat also will have a shared kitchen and living space, so you'll be sharing that amongst the 5 or 3 of you that are in that flat. And you will also be sharing one bathroom, which is essentially a separate toilet room and then a separate shower room. Additionally, there is laundry facilities available on site. You will access that via an app on your phone, so it's very easy to pay for laundry when you're on site. And then additionally, gym memberships are available for purchase. In terms of food in Scotland, like I mentioned, you will have a shared kitchen, which is great because you will be able to all get together and cook and prepare meals together. The kitchen features full-size appliances, so there's going to be, again, lots of cabinet space and storage. There are grocery stores within walking minutes from the residences. There's a Sainsbury's literally across the street. It will take you less than 60 seconds to get there. There's a couple Tesco's within walking distance, again, 5 minutes and a little. And then also, if you're not into cooking as much, there's countless restaurants nearby. Also, delivery services like Uber Eats are common in Glasgow. And in terms of like dietary restrictions, Glasgow's very welcoming to all of those, vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free. They're widely available at restaurants. All right, programming. So there's no shortage of things to do in Glasgow. I can attest to this. But one of the ways that we share these opportunities with students is through our programming. So it's designed to bring all of you together and also help expose you to the city that you're living in for, the 4 months that you'll be there. In Glasgow, this might start off with a walking tour or like one of the hop-on, hop-off bus tours. And then throughout the semester, you may experience going to a soccer game or a rugby game all together, traditional Scottish dancing program, and visiting the Highland Coups in Pollock Park, which is always a very popular one amongst our students. So lots of things to look forward to. In addition to the programming that we have available, once a month, you will get together and share a meal at one of the great local restaurants that are nearby. These dinners are hosted by your specific coordinator. So you will be in a family group of about 20-something students, and your coordinator will take you to a family dinner once a month. It provides you an opportunity to try new restaurants that you might not have tried before. You can typically give some input to your coordinators as well. They'll be curious to see what you'd like to try in the area. No matter what kind of food you're craving, you'll be able to find it. And these are very well attended because, of course, who doesn't love, free food?
All right. So we also have, in addition to those programs that our coordinators develop for you, we also have some standard Northeastern traditions. These are events that occur across all of our locations at various times in the semester. So we'll do first day of school photos. We do have Husky Day, which is actually the same time at all of our locations, and that's a lot of fun. We have a Husky Hunt, which is a citywide scavenger hunt. We send postcards home, and we do other events for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then we end the semester with a banquet, which is kind of a little bit of a send-off right before finals to just congratulate and bask in how far you have all developed over the semester. It's a lovely evening. We also, and I think these are a focal point of our program, we have several excursions scheduled for you. We have 2-day trips and 1 overnight excursion. These are mandatory excursions, so don't miss out. We have a day trip to Edinburgh on September 20th, which is concluding our orientation week. And then the following week, we have another day trip to Stirling Castle. These are excellent opportunities to not only visit other parts of Scotland, but to immerse ourselves in that local culture and experience a little bit of history. Glasgow has a very old and ancient history. We want to tap into that. And then we end our excursion series with an overnight trip to the Highlands. You can see this photo. There's the viaduct in the back. You might recognize it if you are fans of any of the Harry Potter films. It's quite a focal point, but we also head up to Inverness, Loch Ness. Any fans of Nessie out there? It's a very lovely trip. I'm very excited to experience these and share these events with our students. All right. So we're transitioning to talk a little bit more about our academics. Lest we forget, this is the study part of studying abroad. We are an academic program. So as enrolled in NU in Scotland, you will be taking a full semester of credits. Your grades will impact your GPA. This is not a pass-fail semester. So long as you get a D- or better in the classes you are enrolled in, they will transfer back to your Northeastern transcript and they will follow you throughout the rest of your career at Northeastern. So please keep that in mind. The classroom environment is a little different than what you might experience back in the United States. So we'll go into that in a moment. But we also offer local experiential learning courses. So another focal point of our program is our culture courses. Every student is required to take one of these, and there's an archaeology course, there is a Scottish Gothic literature course, there's an intro to Scottish culture. So there's a variety of things depending on your interests. This is a great way to expand your knowledge and wherewithal beyond your regular course of study. So I'm always very jealous of these courses, and I think they're wonderful opportunities for our students to partake of. I'm now going to hand it back to Colette to talk a little bit more about the academic culture at U of G.
Okay, so we at the University of Glasgow and in Scotland generally, our degree system is a 4-year degree. In fact, the US higher education system is based on the Scottish education system at the higher level. So it's a 4-year education, a 4-year degree, which makes it a lot easier and a lot more smooth when you are coming to do your first year with us. So the first year of any course at the University of Glasgow is often you will find as a kind of introductory level course, building on perhaps no knowledge of the subject, or if it is a particular subject like mathematics, it will expect a little bit of, or it will expect higher, high school level education coming into that. In terms, though, of the main differences, you will find that at the university we do focus a lot on independent learning. So first year, you're starting to learn a little bit more about how to be an independent learner, and most of your lecturers will build that in. There will be an element where they are going to go over all of that and they will talk to you a little bit about that. And try to gradually help you to transition into being a university student as opposed to a high school student. The structure of the semester will be slightly different to what you will experience when you go to Northeastern. If you're doing sciences, you will find that you have a fair amount of hours that you are doing in the classroom and in labs. But if you're not doing science courses, you may find that you're not in class as much as you would be in class normally, either from when you were at high school or when you transitioned to Northeastern. But again, these are all just differences and just new ways and lend to the different experience that you're going to get. There will be, and you may come with some expectations because we get that you're coming from high school, all of you, and high school is a different environment to coming to university. Not even the fact that you're coming to university in a different country. So I guess what we try to do, and what you as students from the Northeastern programme will have as an advantage, is that you will have all the staff around you helping you to acclimatise and to adjust to that new system, and to learning at university level and learning at the University of Glasgow. The way that the classes are structured at the University of Glasgow is that we have a format of lecture and seminars or tutorials. So every class will have usually around 3 lectures per week, and then they will also have a tutorial or seminar. Tutorial and seminar, that terminology means the same thing. You may see it sometimes referred to as a tutorial, you may see it sometimes referred to as a seminar. It means exactly the same thing. And what it actually means is that it's a smaller classroom discussion. So lectures can be really large. If you are, for example, taking a level 1 history class or history of art class, or there's quite a few who are choosing economic and social history, you may find that your lecture classes are well over 100 to 200 students in that lecture. The class, the tutorial or the seminar class will be much, much smaller, usually between 10 and 15 students in that class, led by a senior member of the staff or a GTA. And the purpose of that seminar and the purpose of that tutorial is to really delve into the subject matter even more. So the lecture will give you all the salient points, all the really rounded information about the class, and then you go into it in a lot more detail when you're in the seminar. You'll be able to ask questions in the seminar, and you'll be able to have really in-depth discussions. One thing that does crop up from year to year is the marking scheme and how students are going to obtain good marks and how they're going to maintain good marks transitioning from high school to Glasgow and then back to Northeastern. So Northeastern have done a really excellent job of offering a grade equivalent scale, and you'll see here that on the grade equivalent scale, a D1 grade, which is a Glasgow grade, equates to a C+, so it still equates to a passing mark at Northeastern. At the University of Glasgow, again, you will see that there are different bands. So you have an A grade, but you also then have a numerical grade beside it. An A1 through to A5, all of those will just transfer across, straight across as an A. So it doesn't matter if the Glasgow grade is an A1 or whether it's an A5, you're going to get an A in Northeastern grade as standard. Okay. Now, something that has again also come up in the past is that some subject areas tend to try to worry you, probably inadvertently, but they think set expectations, and they may say you will never get an A1. That is not the case. We've done a lot of analysis and it does happen. But even if it doesn't happen, you get anywhere between an A1 and an A5, it's going to transfer across as an A. And a B1 at University of Glasgow transfers across as an A-. And what we've seen in the last 4 years working with Northeastern is that the students who come are top-notch students and do perform very well and achieve really good grades. So that is something hopefully that you'll take away from part of this discussion today, is that the grading scale at the University of Glasgow should not be viewed as something that is scary or frightening, but that also Northeastern does offer a very comprehensive grade equivalency scale, which is available to you all in your handbook if you need to refer back to that. Another difference that we have at the University of Glasgow is that you probably will not be assessed to the same extent that you were at high school or to the same extent that you would be at a US institution. So my experience has shown that students coming from US institutions are used to being assessed on a weekly basis. They might have small quizzes which will add to their overall mark, and there will be work that is scheduled or due to be submitted, usually on a weekly basis. That is not the case at University of Glasgow. So normally in a class you will have 2 large pieces of work across the semester, and those will be the main pieces of work on which you will be graded. Some of that will be work that has to be done during the semester itself, so it will be like a midterm. You may be familiar with that terminology. And then there will be an end of course assessment as well that will count for quite a large percentage of your overall grade. If you're taking the sciences, again in biology and chemistry, and sometimes in maths as well, you may find that you do have those smaller quizzes. Multiple choice questions and quizzes are much more common in the sciences than they are in the arts and humanities. But generally speaking, the way that the university assesses is to have either a final end of course assessment that is heavier weighted with small assignments that would be due 1 or 2 or 3 assignments due throughout the semester. You should also be aware that you will expect an average of 2 hours of preparation for each hour in class. So we calculate our credits on the notional learning hours. And so we do expect you, as I mentioned at the start of this discussion on academics, there is a large perception and understanding that you will become an independent learner, and so that you should be keeping up to date with the reading, even though you may not be assessed necessarily on a weekly basis. You should definitely come to class prepared, having done the reading that you've been given or that you've been suggested to you, in order to keep on top of the subject. So again, all of that will be explained to you in your classes. You will have the great and advantageous help of the Northeastern Student Success Coordinators, who will help to keep you on track as well. And then there are also other resources within the university that we'll talk a little bit more about when you're on site during orientation, that you'll have access to help you achieve your goals at the university. This is me, I think, yes. Your schedule. This is, again, another question that we're often asked. So we are working currently on enrolling you into the classes that you will take. We've been given a list of your selected classes by Northeastern, and my colleagues and I at Glasgow are currently looking to enrol you into those classes. Now, just as another flag, we do require you to complete academic registration. You should all have received an account access notification, or AN letter. That should have come out either Monday or Tuesday of this week. That requires you and gives you the instructions on how to complete registration. And we need you all to complete, at the very least, we need you to complete academic registration. That then allows us to go in to the My Campus system and enrol you into the classes that you want to take. Once we've enrolled you into those classes, you will be able to see the classes and the timetables on the My Glasgow system. You can try, if you want, you can go into that system before you come to Glasgow, but it will all be finalised by the time you get to Glasgow. All right, so again, we will go over all of this with you during orientation. You will, though, in the meantime, as we start going through enrolment, you'll start seeing classes appearing on your record on the My Glasgow, which is the University of Glasgow student system. Classes will run Monday to Friday, so don't, I guess, make arrangements to be out of Glasgow on a Friday afternoon or a Monday morning, because the likelihood is you're going to have classes. So do make sure that you're ensuring that you're around for the week, because that is the expectation and the requirement for you to succeed. And the co-curricular activities will be notified. You'll be given more information about those. There will be a joint co-curricular activity that Glasgow University puts on for you, and then there will be additional activities that Rachel has mentioned, and Katie will also talk a little bit more about. Textbooks, what we find nowadays, and this is a kind of hangover from COVID, is that many classes will actually have the texts, the necessary texts, they will be online. We use a virtual learning environment called Moodle at Glasgow, and more often than not, you'll find that the texts that you are required to read or that you're required to reference will be available online. But if they aren't available online, then the staff will give you an indication of that either on the Moodle itself or in the first class, and they will identify which textbooks you may need to purchase. And I'll pass back to Katie. I think, yes.
Thank you, Colette. Yes, so if you require any academic accommodation, there is a two-part process. You need to file with Northeastern as well as the University of Glasgow. Please, if you haven't done so already, contact both of these parties, get that process going, because it does take time, and we want to make sure your accommodations get approved and reviewed and are in place before your classes start. So You'll need to submit documentation to Northeastern's Disability Access Services. You can easily find that on the Northeastern website and the process to go about that. You can also submit your requests and documentation to support@disability.gla.ac.uk. And again, don't delay, start that process if you haven't done it already. All right, transitioning once again, what to expect once we're on site and how to prepare for your time there. I'm going to kick it over to Rachel to talk about our calendar.
Yes. All right, let's talk about some important dates. So September 13th is when all of you will arrive in Glasgow. Yay, we're so excited. Once you arrive, if you are taking the group flight, we will be there to greet you at the airport, and we will transport you from the airport to the student residences. From there, we immediately go into on-site orientation. So you will be busy for that first week, learning a lot of information. And then first day of classes is going to fall on September 22nd. From there, you will essentially be in school and in classes until December 5th. We don't have holidays throughout that time. Things like Thanksgiving, of course, they're not relevant in the UK. So you will be in classes from the 22nd to December 5th. After that point, you will have final exams between December 8th to the 19th. It will depend on what your classes are and those specific professors in terms of when your specific final exam will happen within that time frame, but you can expect it to happen between the 8th and the 19th of December. And then unfortunately, we'll have to say goodbye on December 20th. And so once again, if you are taking that group flight, we will take you to the airport, we will wave goodbye, and you will be on your way back.
So some of you may be participating in our group flight options. There are a couple steps we want you to be aware of. We encourage you to enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. This just helps notify embassies where you'll be going and to give you notifications if there's anything to look out for in the country where you're heading. Continue to check your Northeastern email account. Always check your Northeastern email. Do not forget to do so, but check your email account for information about your flight. That information is still coming. It will be coming to you in the coming weeks. So if you're curious about when those flights are happening, you want to get confirmation of that information, know that it is still forthcoming. That being said, our staff will be monitoring the flights. We will be monitoring for delays if we need to pivot for anything. Please contact Advantage Travel of Central New York if you miss a connection and you need to rebook. They are well versed in how these group flights operate, so they are very, very well equipped to assist. All of our group flights will be flying into the Edinburgh airport. And as a result, NUN staff will be there to pick you up. So we know to look out for you. You'll see us coming a mile away because we are very excited to welcome you. We are then going to get you on a bus and we're going to bring you to Glasgow from there. So please just keep an eye out for us. We encourage you to wear those Northeastern gear and colors to ensure that you can look out for each other and keep that going. So we want to make sure that you're able to spot each other, make some friends on the flight because it is a bit of a longer flight. So you'll be able to get some bonding time in before you even land. Now, if you are an independent traveler, you are responsible for getting to Glasgow. We still ask you to enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, but ground transportation is up to you. If you are flying into Edinburgh and are arriving around a similar time, our staff will be reaching out to you to communicate if ground transportation is available for you to piggyback onto. So stay tuned for that. But if any of your travels are delayed, please feel free to contact us. You will be given information and contact details before your departure. So just keep an eye out for that. I always like to highlight this photo. This student is primely packed. Notice she's carrying all of her luggage herself. She's got two wheelie bags, a backpack, and another personal item there for carry on. So you are responsible for packing your luggage and wheeling it through the airport and bringing it up to your flat all on your own. We will not have staff to help you with that. So just keep that in mind. All right, now back to Rachel to talk a little bit about how else to prepare.
Perfect. So let's talk about preparing for your journey abroad. In terms of packing, we do have a packing list on the NUN website. So please take a look at that just to make sure you haven't missed any items. But specifically, think about the weather in Scotland. It's going to rain at some point. We got very lucky last year, and it was actually quite decent weather most of the time, but we did have some rainstorms, and it will happen. So pack a raincoat, bring some waterproof or water resistant shoes, just in case. And then additionally, something to keep in mind is when you arrive in Glasgow and to your accommodation for that first evening, you're probably going to immediately want to take a shower, and we do not provide towels. So I would suggest packing a little towel just for that first night. We will be going to IKEA the following day, so you can get all of the necessities that you need. But for that first night, just a little tip to bring just a small towel to make sure that you can be comfortable in your space. Additionally, when it comes to chargers, converters, the UK uses a Type G plug system, which is what this picture shows here. The UK also operates on a 230 voltage electrical system, which many countries like the US use 110 voltage. So therefore, you will need an adapter. If your device is not designed to handle 230 volts, then you'll need a voltage converter as well to bring down that voltage to the appropriate level. So that's kind of confusing, but to give you an idea, today's like updated technology, smartphones, tablets, laptops, these technically have been manufactured to be dual voltage already. So you would just need an adapter. But for those bigger items, you're probably going to need the converter as well. There's also a lot of converter adapters, like combinations that you can just buy online if you just look up, UK converter. It's worth checking all of your electronics just to see whether they're going to be compatible or not, and having a converter and adapter available for when you arrive. Also, something to keep in mind is your prescriptions. So our suggestion is to pack these prescriptions, any prescriptions that you have, pack them in your carry-on. We don't want these getting lost in your luggage that has been checked if for some reason that luggage does not arrive with you immediately in Glasgow. So bring that original bottle and the prescription. Make sure that you have enough to last you for the entire semester if possible. Shipping those medications, we do not recommend that for a multitude of reasons. So try and bring it with you if you can. Of course, there's going to be situations in which that's not possible. You can use Crisis 24, which is an application that, an app on your phone that Katie's going to speak about in a little bit, but that's great to use as a resource in these cases. And also look at the rules of the country, do some Google searching. If you have any questions, you can email this email address on the screen here, and they'll be able to help you out. Something that we also recommend, it's not required to do, but just letting someone that you trust know about your medical history when you're on site, so that you will be able to get the support that you need in any case where, things are not going completely to plan, or you find yourself in need of something. Just let someone know that you trust, and we'll be able to help you out. Going into policies and procedures. I don't think it needs to be said necessarily in terms of the fact that you do need to follow all of the local laws that are in place in Glasgow. But in addition to this, Northeastern students are still beholden to the policies that are laid out by Northeastern and that are required to be followed back in Boston. There are some slight differences here, and to find some of those differences and look into them further, you can take a look at the Northeastern University Supplemental Guide. But an example of this is in Glasgow, students are allowed to participate in the local drinking culture. However, excessive consumption is still prohibited by the Northeastern Code of Student Conduct, so there will be consequences in those cases. These can be found on Canvas as well as on the Northeastern website. In addition to this, you will also need to follow the host institution's policies and procedures, especially when this comes to the housing policies and guest policies. These can also be found on the U of G website, but we've also put them into Canvas for you as well to take a look at what those guidelines are. You'll also learn all about these during orientation. So if you have any questions, we can answer them there. All right, mobile phone while you are abroad. So you are required as part of this program to have a working phone in case of an emergency. So the requirement is to have texting capabilities, calling capabilities, and data. There's different ways that you can go about this. You essentially have a few different options. The first one is that you can arrive to Glasgow, purchase a phone while you're there, purchase an international SIM, and just have a phone in Glasgow with a UK phone number. Another option is that you can bring the phone that you currently use here in the States and go to your provider, make sure that that phone is unlocked, which essentially means that the phone has been paid off in full so that it has the capability to insert and utilize SIMs from other phone companies, whether that be an eSIM or a physical SIM. So you can bring that phone and just purchase a SIM once you arrive. And a third option is to speak with your provider here at home and go to Glasgow with an international plan through your home provider. So those are just some options that you can utilize in terms of having a phone abroad, but we will need you to have one. We will collect your in-country phone number. So the phone number that we will best be able to reach you by, your coordinators will ask you for that once we arrive on site. And just a caveat here, make sure that you are calling home. Create a contact plan with your parents. Make sure that there's some communication there about expectations of when you're going to be calling home and what that communication is going to look like while you are in Glasgow. In terms of banking and budgeting, the local currency that is used in the UK is the pound, the Great British Pound. The conversion rate right now, I just looked this morning, is £1 to $1.34. So it's not the easiest math to do, but you'll kind of get a hang for it once you get over there. Something that's really important to do is to notify your bank and your credit card companies to let them know that you're going to be going abroad so that you don't risk having a hold put on your account when you go and try to swipe your card or tap your card and it's alerting, the bank for fraud. So you just want to let them know that that is you are going to be in the UK. Also, just be aware of international transaction fees. See what those mean for your card specifically. If they have international transaction fees, what those fees are. And again, just something to discuss with your parents, guardians, family. Talk about expectations about budgeting when you are abroad and what that's going to look like when you are on site.
Rachel, would you say that Apple and Google Pay are widely available throughout Glasgow?
Absolutely. Yes, very much so.
Thank you. All right, shifting gears a little bit. If you are a US or EU citizen and you have not done so already, please apply for your electronic travel authorization. They call it a UK ETA. So please take a look at that. There's an app. It's a very brief process. but it does take a couple days to turn around. You want to have this approved before you get off the plane in your when you arrive at customs. If you are not a US or EU citizen, you should have already started your standard visitor visa application process. This can take a little bit of time depending on where in the world you are and the process required for that. So make sure you have that in your hands with your passport. Make sure your passport's in your carry-on luggage as well before you get on your flight, because they will need to verify it. And if it's packed away in your checked luggage, you won't be able to access it, and it creates a whole kerfuffle. So make sure that you keep that with you on your person the whole time, and don't leave it on the plane as you're disembarking either. That has happened before as well. Once you disembark, you will not be allowed back on the plane to get your passport. So make sure you have it in your hand when you're getting on the plane and off the plane. All right, back to Rachel real quick to talk about health and safety abroad before Colette expands on the U of G system.
Fantastic. Thank you, Katie. So something very important to note about health and safety abroad when we are in Glasgow, all NUN Scotland students are covered by the NHS while in Scotland after they complete their registration. So you'll need to complete registration with Barclays Medical Centre, which is on site at University of Glasgow. We will help you with this during orientation, so don't worry about that. Just know that you are going to be covered by the NHS once that process is complete. If there are any emergencies that do require a hospital visit, we will typically go to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Glasgow. It's pretty close to the student accommodation, so just something to be wary of. If you are traveling outside of Glasgow overnight, for example, or going to another country, we do require that you provide us with a travel form. So this will just be something to complete online. It just allows us to know your whereabouts. We are not monitoring. We are not sharing that information with people. That is just something for us to be aware of in case we do need to reach you, and then we'll know where you are in the world. We do encourage you to travel, of course. We just want to make sure that we're all being safe and that we know where you're going to be. And then these apps, again, I mentioned Crisis 24 before, and Safe Zone. These apps are going to be crucial in ensuring your health and safety. Safe Zone is incredible. And I won't get into it too much. I will actually pass it over to Colette to go ahead and do a deep dive into Safe Zone.
Thanks, Rachel. Okay, so the University of Glasgow has its own security team. The security team are on campus, on site, at the campus itself on a 24-hour basis. They are also responsible for security up at the Hall of Residence as well. So you will see security around the university. They're all very friendly. They all know about the Northeastern programme, and they have great links with Northeastern to the security personnel at Glasgow as well. There is a crisis response. There are, in addition to security, there are senior members of staff that operate in our safeguarding team and in our residence life team that are all primed and ready to assist if there is ever a response, should that ever arise. Safety in Glasgow. So it was mentioned, I think, earlier on about Glasgow as a city and how safe it actually is. It is a large city by UK standards, and it does have crime like any other city will have, but more often than not, the crime is usually quite minor. We have a very safe city. We have a really, really strong police force. And as I've mentioned, the incidences of crimes in the city itself are pretty low and tend to be quite minor, such as theft of bicycles around campus. That is one of the biggest issues that they have, theft of property. And that is something, again, that we will touch on during orientation, is just looking after your property, because that is one of the main issues, I would say, from a crime perspective, is just, and it's often students who have just thought it's absolutely fine to leave mobile phones lying with unattended, or to leave laptops lying unattended in different parts of the city, for example. So Glasgow as a city has relatively low crime rates compared to other cities in the UK and compared to other cities worldwide. But we do have a really awesome security team operating on a 24-hour basis at the university and at the security and at the halls of residences. And there are many different resources. You'll see that this is an image of our very friendly security team. There have been some changes to the team. It is much more diverse now, many more women in the team and many more other nationalities and cultural backgrounds represented as well. The team has also expanded quite significantly because they have just recently taken over the security resourcing up at the halls of residence as well. So you will see them around campus, you'll see them on residence halls, and they will be making sure that you are aware of them and that you're happy to go talk to them.
Colette, is there any items that students might have on their person in the United States that they should not have on their person in the UK?
Yes, thanks, Katie. That's a good question. We have in the past been quite keen to emphasise not to bring any mace sprays or any personal alarm sprays that in the USA may be absolutely fine to have. In the UK, they are considered a firearm. And if you do come through security at the airport, that will put you into a lot of bother. Similarly, if you are found on the streets to be in possession of an item such as that, it would also put you into quite a lot of bother from local police. Similarly, it is absolutely not advisable to have any knives on you when you are coming through security at the airport, but you should all be aware of that anyway. But also in the UK, well, certainly in Scotland, it is not legal to purchase knives if you're under the age of 18. So that is something else just to take into account. Not that we think you're going to be all purchasing knives, but it is just something to bear in mind. One other thing, it is not permissible to drink alcohol in the streets in Glasgow. So whilst we do have a very flexible and understanding attitude towards alcohol, it is illegal to drink it in the streets. And if you are partaking in that particular activity, it could lead to the police arresting you. So again, just to flag that as another thing to note in Glasgow. And now we move on to talk a little bit about SafeZone. So SafeZone is an app that the University of Glasgow adopted a number of years ago. It's actually also used by Northeastern. I'm not sure if it's used to the same extent, but it is absolutely used to its full extent at the University of Glasgow. It's a really great app. We mandate that all students at the university download it, as it is a way for us to really ensure and reassure you that the university is there to help you and to make sure that you are kept safe. So you'll see on the app, on the screen itself, there's a wellbeing assistant. You can just, that one is if you have any health issues, or if you wish to log on to we have a 24/7 app, webpage which provides mental health care, mental health support, and you can access it via the SafeZone app. You also have a first aid button, so if, for example, you were to become unwell or you were with somebody who was unwell, you can press that and a first aider, a designated first aider, will come to your aid. They'll be able to locate you through the app. And then you'll see the big red emergency button. Now, SafeZone is used by both students and staff, and it is used by security as well. The security team man it, but if, for example, you're at your hall of residence and you are taken unwell or you need assistance in an emergency, pressing that button will alert security team, who will then be in touch directly with you there and then. So it's an app that we really strongly encourage, and during orientation, you will have members of staff from the security team coming to talk to you about Safe Zone and about security in general, and they will ask you to download that app, as it is one of the best resources that we have on campus.
Thank you, Colette.
Okay.
Perfect. So keeping an eye on our time, we're going to zip through the rest of this. I know we have a lot more information to cover. We also ask students to download the Crisis 24 Horizon app. This connects directly with the Global Student Safety Network here at Northeastern. So if you're not able to get through on Safe Zone for whatever reason, this app is also at your disposal. We register with your Northeastern University email, sign in, and it will tell you, you'll have your location preloaded in there as you'll be registered through the university, and it will let you know of any things to be on the lookout for on the ground. We recommend you enable push notifications for this app and also enable location services so that if you are in a bit of a pickle, GSSN can find you and get you assistance as soon as possible. And before you know it, you're transitioning back to Boston. You're getting ready to go home. You're packing up. We will let you know to continue, again, checking your Northeastern email. Sometime in late October, November, you will register for spring housing back in Boston and for your spring courses. If you are an international student returning to the United States, please start your F1 visa process and take a look at that if that is applicable to you. And then when you arrive back in Boston for move-in, you'll have one more orientation called Husky 101. That is another mandatory orientation you will attend. And that's to help get you acclimated to another new campus. But it is the campus you will be at for the remainder of your time at Northeastern, unless you choose to do another study abroad event. Who knows? Couple action steps for you. Please log into your Canvas course. If you have not yet completed your pre-departure orientation lessons, this is a reminder to do so. They were due August 1st. We also ask that you log on to a test that you have either viewed this webinar live or reviewed the recording of it a later time. This is due August 15th. We will follow up if you have not yet done the attestation. So start thinking about packing, maybe pull some items aside, really think about what you can do with or without, knowing that you're going to buy things while you are there as well. So maybe leave some room for some souvenirs and stuff to take home. Make sure you have all your medications in order. Work with your academic advisors to settle up your course registration. Lastly, as you will be fending for yourself in the kitchen, learn some easy recipes. Make sure you won't be able to go hungry. How to cook pasta, how to boil an egg, and take a look at all of those things. Lastly, one more reminder, continue to keep an eye on your NU inbox and your Canvas course for NU in Scotland for any important updates that are coming down the pipeline. We want to make sure you are fully prepared and aware of everything you need. We will be sending less communication to the personal emails you registered with when you applied to the university. So make sure your Northeastern email is accessible and that you check it on a regular basis, daily, if not more often. And for any parents and families that are watching, we've got some action steps for you as well. Please don't forget to talk about the expectations with your student in terms of budget, communication, how often you want to hear from them. Check in with your students about the emails they're getting, the deadlines they're receiving. That way you are informed as well. We also ask that you wait until students receive their class schedules to plan your visits. We know the excursion dates are happening. If you are visiting, they feel compelled to spend time with you. And really, we want to make sure they are focused on getting immersed into the local culture and that they are attending all of their classes. I know we're at time. I think we're going to skip the Q&A for now. However, if you have any questions yet remaining after this presentation, please send us an email, nun@northeastern.edu. You follow us on Instagram for any other updates or insights to what's happening on site, and you can always give us a call. Thank you once again for spending time with us. We look forward to welcoming you on site soon. We're so excited to get started, and we can't wait to experience with you. It's going to be a wonderful time. So thank you once again, and have a great rest of your day.